Hello, everyone.
Hi, beautiful soul family. So incredibly grateful to be live with you all today. We got a brand new mic. Let us know if this new mic is extraordinary, because that was our intention since the last time our mic was not super amazing. How's the volume for Instagram? Hi, everybody. We have an incredibly powerful activating transmission today. Where are you guys coming in from?
How have you guys been?
We usually go live at 4 p.m. EST, and today we're at 7. So I have a feeling some different people are online today. Based on the time, let us know if you are. We see BC Canada in the house. Who else is here? Renee, where are you dialing in from?
We're live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
Yes. Usually Instagram comes in right away, and Facebook, okay, Facebook and YouTube's catching up. Thank you, Angelica.
Instagram's very clear.
You're flying, by the way. Your energy is so activated. It's like you're in a completely different timeline. I know you know that. So where do we even start today? As we have people coming in, I just want to say that, hi Tecumseh. Seattle is in the house.
Michigan,
Beautiful.
Wisconsin, Southern California.
California. So you guys know that Saman and I have been on a wild ride for the last 10 years, and our highest intention is to share with you everything we've been through. First of all, how's the volume? We got a brand new mic for Facebook and YouTube. Is it super? How's the volume for Instagram? Let us know.
Instagram, somebody said it's crisp.
Excellent. Do you guys like our new mic? Testing. How's the mic? Okay, sound is good. Amazing. So we've been sharing the last 2 or 3 videos you guys have loved more than any of our videos. We've been getting all your emails and everything. And I feel like this video is just on that same trajectory. It feels like Saman and I are activating at such an overwhelming rate almost. It feels like we're going so fast. It feels like we're training for something bigger than us. And literally feels like our conscious mind is not even aware of it. And that's why many of us are feeling like this expansion, this stretching, this uncomfortable feeling where, whoa, we want to go a bit slower. Our ego wants to go a bit slower. We're in our comfort zone and we're going so fast. We're being stretched so freaking fast that many of us are like, oh my God, like how are we going to catch up with the speed of what's expected of us? So today's video is going to address all of this and more. We've had some amazing experiences that we want to share with you. We want to talk about the solar flash, a vision, a prophecy we were shown just recently, last Saturday. What else? We're going to share a conversation we are in the process of having with God.
We've begun a conversation with God.
Yes.
And I'm surprised that we hadn't done it earlier because we recently, we talked to Metatron, we talked to all the archangels, we talked to different ascended masters, and we never connect with God. And I was thinking, I literally was meditating and thinking, why are we not connecting with God? And I said, God, I would love to communicate with you. We would both love to have a conversation with you and have our own direct communion with you so we can get our downloads directly from you, because we like to go straight to the source. But we know God's always watching over us. And God simply replied, well, all you have to do is reach out. And that's how it started. And
Yes.
since then, we've been going back and forth.
And you know, for those of you who have had contact with angels or communicating with angels, you guys know every angel has a specific frequency. Like Metatron has his frequency, Yeshua has his frequency, Mother Mary has her frequency, Isis has her frequency. The same way God's frequency is very different. And we were even joking with God saying, okay, we thought you were this aloof guy or girl, like, you know, aloof, divine mother, divine father, because usually all the angels come in to help us and mentor us. Like Metatron is our biggest guide, Yeshua is our biggest guide, Isis is one of our biggest guides. And God, literally, every single one of you, he's reminding you, he and she. When I say he, God is, it's not he, it's not she, it's both. And we're going to make another video which is so deep about what is the hierarchy. We've talked about the hierarchy of heavens. We won't go into that today. But God, when we speak to the Creator, Father, Mother, is this energy that is so incredibly loving, so incredibly supporting, and the opposite of a taskmaster, the opposite of a disciplinarian, the opposite of a dictator. All God wants is for all of us to be at the best we can be, to have the most amazing experiences through life. And It's this love that we've never felt. So today we're actually going to share with you a recent conversation we had with God, as recent as this last Saturday. And we were shown a vision. We're going to explain the vision in great detail because this vision was just shown to us like...
It was literally a prophetic vision, you guys. It was shown to us with great clarity while we were having this conversation with God. And do we go directly into the vision, or do you want to give an outline first?
Go directly into the vision.
Yeah, so let's cut right to the chase because this video is packed with lots of information. We want to make sure we take you through a step-by-step journey and unpack all of the downloads. And some of the downloads that we're planning to share today go very deep, you guys. And I know that a lot of people out there need to hear today's Divine Spirit messages. And this is messages that we receive from God, delivered directly to you from our hearts. So our deepest intention is to assist all light workers out there who are on their journey, who are on their path, and they're facing any kinds of hurdle in stepping into their path of mastery and how to get out of that. So first of all, let's get to the vision. We were shown, so we were just chilling and conversating with God like we mentioned, and we started having this conversation. And suddenly when we established the communication, we realized, oh my God, we have so many questions. Like, we're talking to God, like, so cool, right? And we were just thinking, how come we never did this before? Like, this is such a, this is the most meaningful relationship I have in my life, at Eldora as well, I'm sure. And we were asking God, like giddy little children, all these things, like, now we want to know about this, now we want to know about this.
But this vision God gave us even before our questions, remember? And then we started asking more questions.
Yeah, there were some questions, but before I was given this particular image in my mind,
yeah,
we were asking the question, what can you show us that's about to happen 2025 and 26?
Right,
it was like a very direct question about what's coming around the horizon. And I had no idea what to expect. And in my mind, I was shown this vision of a huge wave, and I'm talking about a tsunami. It didn't look like energy. It was like a symbolism kind of a movie playing, but it looked like an ocean wave that's hundreds of times the size of the Earth. And if planet Earth was like this, the wave was like the size of up to my elbow. If planet Earth's like this. Woo! And this is how the wave was coming in my imagery. It was like, this was the image that was playing. That this wave is going to envelop all of you, and this is what's coming. And it was shown like, when I received this message and Eldora was, I was telling Eldora what I'm receiving, we were both like, our hearts were pounding.
It was feeling it felt like we were floating in this golden frequency and just receiving these messages, and we could both feel the frequency, and we were a bit taken aback and overwhelmed by it because the way, look at the frequency of what's coming. This wave we were shown is many times the size of Earth, and it's fast approaching Earth. That's the thing.
It's imminent.
When we talk about the solar flash, many of us are talking about the solar flash, and we've received many messages about the great solar flash and how it's going to shift everything on planet Earth. Literally, many of us, many prophesizers have been waiting and know that there will be a moment in time when there is a wave so large, so powerful, sent from the highest heavens, from the 12th dimension with D12 coding, D13 coding even, like higher than the 12th dimension, because this wave is by soul contract predestined to hit our planet when humanity, when there's enough frequency, when there's enough consciousness, when there's enough of us who've activated a certain frequency on the planet, and that this wave will change everyone and everything forever and all of eternity. We've always known this. Many of us know this. We've seen it. We've had prophecies about it. Many of us are holding this vision. This time, when God showed us this wave approaching, He didn't just tell us this download. He showed us how fast it was approaching and how big it is. And honestly, it felt like a bit overwhelming of how fast it's coming. And God literally said to us, like He says, this is the message to you, Eldora, to both of you, Eldora, to Seman, and to all of the light workers. And we've made changes already since then, since Saturday. That's how powerful this was. The message was, you need to step up your schedule because there's not much time left. And this message, he said, she said, is going to hit each of you differently. For Saman and I, it hit us right away because we were and this is going to be a very deep message. We're going to go into a lot more about the solar flash, this wave, the tsunami of light, but we're just going to let it flow in whatever way it channels. And what we did, so you know how I said it's going to hit each of us differently? Right away when we got this message, we realized that we were taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back in life, meaning we were committing to our mastery at every point 2 steps forward and thinking, wow, we're committing to our mastery, we're feeling really good about ourselves. But then we were taking 1 step back. So God said, or this energy, this loving prime creator energy, reminded us that we were going in circles. 2 forward, 1 back, 2 forward, 1 back. So it's not like, so the way it was explained to us, especially me, both of us, but especially me, is that Eldora, your soul hasn't yet made a choice. Your soul still is in 2 dimensions. 1 dimension still associates with the human, and 1 dimension associates with a very high being, an enormous being, your higher self. And right now you're in transition, but make no mistake. This was a message directly to me, and I feel it's going to activate many of you. But make no mistake, your soul is still in transition, and it hasn't made its decision yet. So initially when we got this, we were like, okay, what is this supposed to mean? So now tell them how...
Before we go in further,
yes.
I want to reiterate because we've said a lot of very big things and I want people to get the depth of the message today, okay? So just to recap today, the clear broadcast message that we're supposed to give you guys in no uncertain terms is that a wave is approaching our planet as we speak. It's not days away, it's not weeks away, it's somewhere between end of this year to 2026. This is raw facts that we were given. Is this the great solar flash? No. This is not the great solar flash. This is not the end all and be all. This is one of the first waves of solar flash that will be preparing humanity. And okay, what else were we shown? We were shown that many people, and Eldora already mentioned this, I'm just recapping it so you get it with certainty and clarity because this is important, you guys. All of you should be paying full attention right now if you're on your spiritual path of evolution and if you've been following the divine narrative of what's taking place from the higher dimensional perspective on our planet. Many people, and this is what Spirit wants you to get, many people think that you have a decade to prepare. You don't. We were thinking we have a decade to prepare and sometime in 2034 to 2036, the ascension will take place. The way we were shown is you need to step it up now. You don't have a decade, you have a short span of time. And now in the rest of the message, we will explain what it means that we have a short span of time and what are all the repercussions of this download.
So before we even go in, I want to right away give you 2 perspectives that are very polarized and there's no judgment. One perspective is someone who just mentioned seems a little fear-based, and I want you to see which you identify with more and let us know in the comments. One, just based on what we've said so far, one person says seems a little fear-based, Linda says, but I trust. Now immediately another person said, Sylvia said, some will not like or accept what's coming. You see how different the frequency is in both of these? Let me know what frequency you're picking up so far from this channeling. Are you picking up fear? Or are you picking up that this is a huge divine transmission that we're channeling from God? What are you picking up? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear.
And also I want to add to that point that God never transmits any message out of fear. The only feeling, the only transmission we received in this whole image that we received was that of unconditional love and like a divine being that's telling its child that there's something coming that you need to be aware of and there's something coming that you cannot expect to happen to you passively. You need to actively take action. So if a parent doesn't tell the child, if a parent doesn't tell the one they love that you need to prepare for something, then what will happen? The child will fall or the child will not get the message. So this is God not putting fear in your heart that you're doing something wrong or you're missing out or you're being left behind. That is all part of our ego-based program that if you think because of this someone will be left behind or you will be left behind, that's your fear talking. There's zero fear in this download.
Yes.
Everyone will interpret this message in their own way.
Yes.
It is only meant to encourage you to step forward and take action.
Yes, and I love how I'm seeing all your messages. Thank you for this beautiful. I love it. I love that how all of you are resonating. You're feeling excitement, no fear at all. And even if you felt a little bit of fear, stay with us, because our intention by the end of the video is that any fear will just be dispelled. So God explained this to us in many stages, and this whole conversation is going to unpack to you what that conversation was. It lasted about 45 minutes or so. It was up on our terrace one afternoon at 4 o'clock last Saturday in the evening. So what God said was, this wave is going to hit every single one of us differently. And when this wave hits us, and Siman actually, and I feel a little different about the message, the way it was shown how fast it was coming, Siman picked it up as end of this year or early next year. Without any certainty, I'm just telling you what I felt. Just like it felt so fast. I'm not even saying end of the year. We're as bewildered as you are, because it felt like something's approaching very fast, and the energy it left us with was holy shit. So immediately we realized what we had to do to shift out of things. So we had booked just a quick vacation to Houston coming up like this in a few days, March 2nd. We're like, oh, let's just go away for a week. We've been working so hard. Let's just, have some rest and go to some luxury spas and stay in a 5-star hotel. We were looking for a bit of escapism, and we thought it was divinely aligned. Every time I went to pay the pay button on my credit card for that 5-star hotel I was trying to book, it would not go through, thank God. Only the flights went through. So as soon as this came in, we got the message saying, you're, again, taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back, but you guys are training right now for a festival you're about to host, House of Ra. You're in your Olympic training timeline, and already you both are looking for excuses. You're already looking for excuses to leave.
Back.
What do you think Houston's going to do? You're going to go there. You're going to be all like, go shopping to the mall. You're going to eat. You're not going to work out as much as you would work out here. Your YouTube videos will take a back seat. Your channelings will take a back seat. And we're like, holy shit, we literally just wanted a break. And the guides are like, the break will come, but it's not the time.
Actually, many people are thinking like this right now, because we've been going through so much intensity that we like, holy shit, we wish we get a break. And then we get this message like, we need to prepare for something big. So it's going to require a bit of courage, you guys, but it's all for the best. So this is us stepping up to be the best we can to receive what's coming.
So let me give them what I was shown, and then you give them the ring pass.
Yeah.
Okay. So how it was shown to us is that when this wave hits, it was shown to me because I needed this message as much as you do. It was shown to me that, Eldora, you've currently not made your decision. This was as of last Saturday. Since then, I've made my decision. That's how fast we're moving. As of Saturday, I had not yet made my decision as to which world I am jumping into. One part of me was attached to the human. I need comfort, I need rest, I need to go to Houston, I need a little bit of luxury to pamper myself, I need to spend money somewhere, like literally I've been working so hard. And the other side of me is like, I want to go, I want to work out, I want to, like go for walks, I want to go meditate, I want to raise my frequency, and I want to have single-minded focus, and I am not playing small anymore. I see the enormity of the being that I am, and I am stepping into my divine soul mission, no excuses. Now, a part of me was very terrified, petrified, in fact, to make that decision. A part of me was, and I say was because I left that part behind on Saturday. Literally, that's how big of a jump we're making every week. So I realized that a part of me was petrified, overwhelmed to say yes and commit to my higher self, because I was like, listen, it's too much. I'll do it over the next few years. I'll do it over the next 5 years. I'll do it over the next 10 years, whatever, 2 years. So I was going more at like, this is the frequency. And what God is saying is that what this message solidified is that when that wave hits, a snapshot of time will be taken, like a universal snapshot of time will be taken. When that wave hits, as soon as that wave touches the surface of planet Earth and enters our atmosphere, something major is going to happen. We will be frozen in time. These were the words. We've written down this whole transmission to give you every little piece we've received. It's as if a universal snapshot is taken in that moment of time. And every single one, when that happens, will embody and become that version of who we are at that moment. And this message said,
say that again.
When the wave hits at that moment, in that period of time, every single one of us will just become and embody and solidify that version of ourselves that we are embodying in that moment. So in that moment, if I'm in Houston enjoying like a meaningless vacation just to satisfy my ego, I have chosen that timeline. But when that wave hits, if I'm actively choosing discipline, this whole message today is about discipline. This is the transmission. If I am embodying discipline towards my frequency, like today we ate very light, we're just having hibiscus water all day, we're cleansing a lot more, we're drinking more water, we're feeding on light. We're not going into the ego's need for comfort and food, and like we're constantly raising our frequency.
Yeah, we're going through very, very like powerful ascension training where we're slowly identifying and letting go of all the attachments of the ego one by one. And it's a very exciting process because as we do so, our powers are expanding, our consciousness is expanding, and just the fact that we're conversating with God shows that our frequency is rising to a level where we can even listen to God. God actually said, when we said, why don't more people talk to God? And he said, I'm here to talk to everyone, but
It's
not
not a
everyone. God said, I'm here to talk to everyone in the universe, but only few people are able to hear me.
Yes.
So you have to do a little bit of self-cleansing. You have to have a little bit of discipline, and you have to have the right attitude to raise your consciousness in order for God to have a handshake with you. God's always listening, but it's only us who are not able to listen back.
Yes. And what we were shown is that when this wave hits, there is going to be, you know how we're always talking about the separation of timelines, the bifurcation of timelines. Everyone's talking about it on the planet. We've been talking about it for 5 years. The frequency we're getting is that things are about to get very, very, very real. And the first wave of ascension wayshowers are literally right now in this first wave walking through the ascension. I have goosebumps. We're walking through the ascension timelines. And I'm going to tell you something that'll blow your mind. You may not have been a vibrational match to this timeline just 2 months ago. Something that you have done in your life in the last 2 months has currently, and you guys know who I'm talking to, suddenly you're like, holy shit, 2 months ago I was not in the timeline, but I chose my discipline, I chose my higher self, I chose my soul's evolution, and now when Eldora is talking, I know that I'm in that positive timeline, right? So let me know if when you're listening to this, what timeline are you on? Are you on, they're all positive timelines, but are you on that timeline in the first wave? And it doesn't matter if many of you are feeling, okay, I need time till the second wave, because there's no fear. There's going to be many waves. But some of us know without a shadow of doubt that we're being prepared for the first wave. Now, when I say this, what comes up for you? Do you feel like, shit, I know that's true, but I have all this insecurity? I know that's true, but I don't have the discipline, so I feel like an imposter? This is for you, because right now what the message is that when this wave hits, it could hit any time. We're not being given any timeline. We're just guessing with our human mind.
But I want to add about the timing. We were also shown about the timing that the wave will not hit until Earth and all the souls are perfectly prepared for it.
Right.
So it's not like a bulldozer kind of wave without any mind. Like it's like just going to come crashing without mindlessness. God doesn't do anything mindlessly. So we were shown that although this wave is approaching and the time is variable when it hits us, it's going to be perfectly timed when the crop is ready on Earth. So this is a harvesting and reaping the wheat from the chaff kind of a wave.
Yeah, and tell them what Jesus said.
Tell them.
So, and we were reminded of this quote that Yeshua left us with, and it gave me chills. We were reminded by mother, father of this quote that Yeshua said, many will be called, but a few will choose themselves and make it. Many will be called, but only a few will choose themselves and make it. And basically what this really means is that right now, those of us who have made a soul level decision, and many of us have not, and that's okay. Our intention in this video is to just activate you, because I just decided to say yes to myself. I made that decision in 1 second. All that involves, all that fear that comes up to say yes. Why is the fear coming up? The fear is coming up because some part of you feels it's too much for you. Some part of you feels you're not worthy of it. Some part of you feels it's not time yet for you to make this jump. But what your guides are reminding you is you don't have to do anything other than choose your highest discipline, your highest commitment to your soul's path, and your highest commitment to your ascension path. And all you got to do is to move one step at a time, but in the positive direction of your soul, and not go in circles and circles and circles because of, they showed us a few common traps that many of you are falling into. One is procrastination. Not today, it's not time yet, I'm not ready yet, I have time. False. Number two, it could be, what's another one?
Self-worth.
Self-worth, that's a big one. I'm not worthy of this timeline. I'm not ready. I'm not worthy of it.
God must be upset at me.
I am a sinner and I still have a lot of shit and I'm not a spiritual student and I don't think I'm that person. Whatever, it's like worthiness, insecurity is coming up. And the third thing that's also coming up right now, what we were shown, is a lot of trauma. If you're not healed of your traumas, if you're going through life right now constantly in arguments, in drama with your people, like you have constant arguments, drama, there's a lot of drama in your life with your colleagues, with your friends, with your relationships. And by the way, please hit the like button. This is huge for algorithms. I forgot to say that in the beginning. If you're loving this video, hit that freaking like button, subscribe to the channel so then you get a notification right away, hit on that bell so you're the first to know, and also add yourselves to our mailing list. We are at www.nems.love, nems.love. That way, anytime we send out an energy update or anything we send out about a future event or whatever, you're on the mailing list. So now let's talk about the ring pass knot.
Yeah, okay. So let me explain a little bit because we want to make sure you guys get this very clearly. This, when Eldora says this is about discipline, it does not mean that this is you starting a boot camp for the next year. When we've said this statement in many lives before, we've said we are training like we are training for the Olympics right now, which is true. But at the same time, this is not that Western army kind of training where you're like always go, go, go and you're killing your body. This is training for the ascension, which has a different set of rules.
Yes.
Training for the ascension also means that when you're in your masculine element, where you're doing your discipline and your rigor and going to the gym and eating properly and fasting and doing whatever your protocol may be, mine might be different, but when everyone knows whether they're on their mastery protocol or not. When you're on your masculine side, ascension training also requires you to be in balance with your feminine side, which is the yin side. So a part of the ascension is not just going forward all the time and judging yourself when you're feeling like resting and taking a day off. Ascension means being in touch with your feminine, being in touch with your body enough to know when it's time to slow down and balance the yin with the yang. That's a very important principle.
You know, this is such a good thing he hits up on because a lot of us are doing either too much or we're doing too little.
Yes.
What does he mean by that?
The middle path.
Let's say you go to the gym and you've just done something super yin, then you come home and you rest. Sorry, you've done something super yang, you come home and rest and you do something yin. Sylvian just said discipline might be a strong word. And I would be lying if I told you that the transmission was anything other than discipline. Right now, there's no more hiding and waiting and saying, I can't master discipline yet, so I'm just going to pretend it's hard for me or it's a strong word or I'll just keep making up excuses. Today, we're speaking to all of you, but we are especially speaking to those of you who are just done playing small, who are just done dimming your light, you're just done, excuses, you're done needing convincing. You are ready to do whatever the fuck you need to do right now to just activate your self-mastery. No more waiting, no more giving away power to your relationship, to that horrible relationship that's suffocating you and you defending yourself to a whole bunch of people. But instead, you're being asked to cut through the chase and drop anything and everything that's not a vibrational match to who you have become and who you are becoming. Because if you continue going in circles and circles, no one's going to come. This is your reminder from your higher self. If you think someone's going to come and remind you 2 days earlier saying, hey, by the way, just drop all your distractions. Right now, you're going around your life in too many different distractions. And this is how it was described to us. There is a very high initiation that many of us have. Saman and I have been through this initiation. Saman went through this initiation when we were in Costa Rica. Do you guys remember we made a video and Saman said, I'm going through, guys, this was about 4 years ago. He said, I'm going through this initiation called the ring pass knot ceremony. And I am just going through it right now, 4 years after Saman. What was the ring pass knot for him? We were reminded again that humanity right now, the first wavers, and very soon the second wavers, are going through this initiation of the ring pass knot. What it means is like there's a corridor that's narrowing so much that as you have left behind your third dimensional reality, where your old life, where you were unawake, you were stuck in drama, confusion, like you had a job you didn't like, constantly surrounded by people who were not your well-wishers, just like drama. You're now moving from that third dimensional reality to your fifth dimensional golden age reality. All of us are. That's what this whole thing is about. All of Earth right now is moving through, just like, a shepherd. We're all shepherding ourselves through what we call this ring pass knot. And what this is that the corridor will get narrower and narrower and narrower and narrower and narrower and narrower until all that can pass through this ring is your soul. Without the attachments to food, without the attachments to drama, without the attachments to social media and anything that is not aligned to your evolution, without your traumas that you have not yet healed, without your ego that is currently harmonized either too much in the positive or too much in the negative. What I mean by that is I'm the shit and there's no one like me, or I'm useless and I'm worthless. Wherever you are, right now you're being asked to drop procrastination, drop self-worth, drop insecurity, drop everything, because nothing can pass through this ring other than the purity of your soul. And I'm going through this initiation right now.
Yeah. So let's clarify and recap a little bit. Because
I love Linda. She's like, love the tough love coming through.
I love that.
I love that.
That's how you know you're on the path, when you're actually enjoying the tough love, because it just comes from a place of unconditional love for you guys. And we know where we're going. We're coming from the standpoint, we know where we're going, and we would love for as many people as possible to join us. So what was said so far is that we saw a vision where the wave, like hundreds of times the size of the planet. If this is the planet, like my hand is the planet, a wave is approaching and it's going to engulf the entire planet. The moment this wave engulfs the planet, it could be by the way we were shown the vision, the time is variable, but it could be end of this year, it could be beginning of next year. Then we were shown that this is not the solar flash. This is the beginning of the solar flash. There will be many successive waves coming one after the other. The one that we're talking about, that one we were shown in this vision that might happen early 2026 or first quarter of 2026, will be a preparatory wave. What will happen when this wave engulfs Earth? It will not happen before its time. It will happen when exactly the right number of people are ready and activated. So it's kind of like a co-creation. Humans have to step up and the timing will be adjusted so the wave meets you exactly when we are ready. Now, the moment this wave hits, you, all of us, whether you know it or not, every single 8 billion of the 8 billion people on Earth will embody what they're vibrating in that moment. Okay?
Will solidify.
Yeah, it'll solidify in your DNA. It's like a snapshot is taken in that moment. Some people won't even know the wave hit them. They'll just think, oh, it's so tiring, I need to go to sleep. Some people will just go to sleep. Some people who are more active and higher in their consciousness and learning about spirituality, and if you're listening to this video, you'll experience this wave in a more active way rather than a passive way. So you'll know it's coming, you'll be excited, you'll be experiencing the magic, and then you'll also feel like something's changing, and it'll anchor and amplify who you are in that moment. So if you're a little bit in a kind of negative frequency, it's not like if you just had a fight an hour ago, you're screwed. It's kind of like the amalgamation or the average of every action and decision you've taken throughout your life until that point. That average is what will be recorded, not that moment, whatever you're experiencing.
And
it's an average.
And that is to solidify the timelines, because that's how this ascension has always been explained to us. Yeah. There will come a time where there'll be a separation of the wheat from the chaff. We've always been told this. How will we do this? It's going to be done by frequency. And nothing is a punishment. If someone doesn't make that ascending timeline the first wave, there'll be another wave. There'll be a second wave. There'll be a third wave. However, what they're telling us is that don't keep delaying and putting things off to the second and the third and the fourth, because this came in very clear, while there will be multiple chances for everybody, What did they say exactly?
They
There
said
won't
there will be multiple chances for everyone to ascend. If you don't make it in this first wave in 2026, then there'll be a second wave subsequently. We don't know how many years later, but there will be a second wave. Then a couple years later, there will be a third wave. That'll probably be including children who are not even born yet. But in all of these waves, if your soul constantly keeps pushing away or rejecting God's gift that's coming, this wave is a gift that's coming to earth. It's a gift that you have to accept by choosing to respect yourself through discipline. Okay? Let me recap this. This wave that's coming is a gift from the divine. It's a gift from the creator. It's a gift from the great central sun of this universe to help you jump based on all the efforts you have made so far. But in order to make this jump, you have to value yourself.
Yes.
If you do not value yourself enough to choose the path of discipline, if you do not respect yourself to give your body what it needs versus feeding it crap, then that is also a choice. That means I'm not ready yet. But again, there's no fear. If you're not ready, it's fine. There's another chance, there's another chance, there's another chance. But what was said very clearly, and that's what people need to get, is that there are not going to be infinite number of chances. At some point, your soul will literally choose a timeline and bifurcate into either an ascending timeline or a non-ascending timeline.
And guys, this is
and
very
this is
real.
not a punishment. This
I
is a
was
choice.
given this ultimatum. It's not
We were
even an
all
ultimatum.
given it.
You know, it's very funny. Depending on the vibration you are embodying right now, I can tell you the difference of how this will be landing. Okay, I'm going to give you a cheat sheet. Let me know in the comments what you're feeling based on what I'm about to say. One version of me might have felt, luckily that's not the version of me. There's no part of me that feels intimidated when I hear this. You know, when I heard this, literally the guidance was, this was the direct transmission to me, and I love these messages. For me, I don't look at them as slaps. I look at them as divine blessings. Someone from the other end of the veil is guiding me while I'm on earth to make that jump for my ascension. This is the highest blessing. It's like, holy shit, I'm so lucky to be giving being given a cheat sheet. And you know what the message was? Eldora, don't think, it wasn't a threat, but I'm just going to speak it how it came, because my guides and I, we speak very direct. Galactics are very direct. It's only humans who are like, I'm going to upset her feelings. Like, humans are always thinking about what not to say because we're so used to like not upsetting people. Siman and I, to our team, to each other, to our angels, to God, we're very direct. So the message was like this, without any sugarcoating. Eldora, you have a very big divine soul mission, yes. But don't for a moment think that if you continue choosing the lower timeline over and over again and running away to escape to Houston, constantly running away and giving up coffee and then making cacao your addiction, giving up something like starting working out, but then choosing to eat heavier food a lot of the time, whatever that case is, if you're constantly going back, and most importantly, Eldora, if you don't get into the curriculum of finally seeing who you are and the enormous soul mission you have said yes to even before coming to the planet, and I'm not telling many of you this, if you are not willing to rise in your mastery, if you're not willing to accept this as a gift, and all these invitations that the higher self is laying out for us right now, saying, hey, you want a nutritionist? Here's a nutritionist. Hey, you want an ascension master coach? Here are Eldora and Saman. Hey, you want, like, we're all coming into each other's lives by soul contract. We know what we're good at. What is our expertise? We get people to move really fast. We get people who've had the hardest time, and we attract people who are very committed to their soul's ascension. We do not attract people who are just coming around to fuck around, pick up girls, just have a good time. We do not attract that frequency, and we speak to a specific frequency. The frequency of people we love and we attract and we want to teach and who are a vibrational match to us are the people who are like us. What does that mean? We act on our soul's highest vibration. Like, we dropped Houston. We were like $2,000 ticket, let it go. We don't care. We would have canceled the hotel. We don't care. Once we get the guidance, we get it. We're not attached to our ego's need for luxury, for comfort, traveling because House of Ra now is coming up and we need a break before it. No, we're able to jump. So the frequency, I feel like, Saman, the guides are saying, speak to the people who are like you.
Yeah.
That's what the guides are saying. They're saying, speak to a specific frequency of people.
Yeah, and there's many people in our vortex who are right now committing to their path of ascension. And the reason I say this is a gift from divine is because if you choose your path of discipline and self-mastery, then you'll be able to ride the subsequent waves that are coming with ease and grace. Okay, that's the gift. If you choose to rise to the occasion rather than bring avoidance and procrastination, if you choose, and it's as simple as a choice you make in each moment, if you choose yourself and your mastery and your discipline, then the subsequent waves that are coming to earth will just open up more and more doors of blessings, more and more timelines of abundance. Your health will explode, your joy will explode, and you'll create so many new opportunities, and your body will be feeling so good that you will be able to ride the waves. But if you
Yes.
if you stay in avoidance, then you're actually choosing a more difficult timeline.
For yourself.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Because your body will not be attuned to the frequencies that are coming. So while we were having this conversation, I just wanted to share as a side note, I was joking around with God because with Metatron, we always like pull his leg and we have this informal kind of relationship. And with God, I'm like, God, am I supposed to like respect you more? Or like, what's the protocol? I've never had a friendship with God, right? And I was feeling like he was just shooting the shit
He's like,
with
give
us
me
like
the
old
protocol.
friends. And I said, God, I need the protocol. What am I allowed to? Am I allowed to pull your leg sometimes like I do with Metatron? And God, he was silent for a while when I said, are what's allowed and what's not allowed? And God was silent for a while, and then he replied
Coyly.
very like tongue-in-cheek humor. He said very coyly, "You're allowed to do anything you want, just don't offend me."
And he winked.
And I, with a winky, and I started laughing because I knew he was like, the frequency of that was like teasing, pulling my leg.
Like, that's the opposite of what you would expect God to say, right? Like, oh, you can do this, but don't offend me.
You can do anything you want, but just don't offend me.
Like winky.
And I said, okay, that's a trick. That's a tricky answer. How do I know if I've ever offended you? And he said, you'll find out with a winky. So I found that humor very like...
That's
very,
how...
very, like, he
Reassuring.
answered my question by joking. So he's saying, you can joke around with me. I don't take anything seriously.
He's trying to say...
He's pulling my leg instead.
Yes.
He's like, you think you can pull my leg? I'm pulling your leg.
And it was very beautiful. So we're also developing this very new relationship.
And it's very endearing.
Very,
I
very.
encourage all of you to reach out to God.
And we say he, but God is this presence. And we're going to make another video about, some of us think, are we allowed to talk to someone outside of us? How is this God? Like, are we supposed to take, orders or messages from someone outside of us? We're going to talk about all of that, like the hierarchy of how...
He's just like your best friend.
Like, we've all been taught all this garbage with religion, right? And now we're coming out of religion. We're like, what is the charter? So we're going to talk about that. But now here I want to move into the next vision we were shown. This was brilliant, and I'm going to seal it in with a couple of examples. So what he showed us was, he basically was talking to us. He said, okay, Eldora and Saman, your frequency right now is shooting up like an elevator. And right now, what he's saying is that because our frequency is shooting up very, very fast, there's people within our own vortex, our core students of 5 years, most of them are making it. They're jumping with us, most of them, 95% of them. But there's a certain frequency of our core students that have fallen off, and it's very obvious. So what we're being reminded by our guides is that we've suddenly, because we are both saying yes to ourselves, and you guys can see the shift in our frequency in the last few months. Everyone's telling us, emailing us about it. We know how big of a jump we've made. We're octaves above who we were just 2 months ago. So what's happening is our shift is triggering something in our audience. Audience members who are not yet in the vibration to be a vibrational match to our teachings, what's happening is they're somehow going out of resonance with us, with either their own judgments about us or their own doubts about us or their insecurities that they cannot be as good as this vortex desires, or all kinds of ego excuses, or even disrespect may come up. Like somebody that's super, super close in our vortex, out of the blue, started acting up. Like he sent an email, it was disrespectful, and we said, hey, like this guy's never been disrespectful. He's come to every single event of ours. So all of a sudden, what's happening is people are showing that they're taking a side. They're either saying, this is too much for me, I cannot make the jump, or of course I can make the jump, let's go. And the way it was shown to us is that we're going so high in our own life. They're saying, even to us, think of your life like a dial. This was a direct transmission that we received. Think of your life like it has a dial. Okay? I'm going to go slow because I have to check my notes to make sure I don't miss anything. And think of your life as a dial with many radio stations. When you raise your vibration by constantly aligning to your soul's highest timeline, moment by moment, day by day, and you're constantly moving forward, what happens is that you raise your frequency, and all of a sudden, this changes the dial of your radio station. So what he's saying is, what God was saying, this force was saying is that now you've entered a parallel reality timeline simply by doing one thing and one thing alone, raising your frequency. If you were in worry and anxiety, you have now jumped into gratitude and joy. If you were in sickness and lethargy and stagnation and not moving your body because you just don't have enough self-love, you're like, whoa, I'm going for a walk every morning. I'm getting control of my finances. I'm getting control of my life. You've made a jump. So what he's saying is your vibration, every one of us has a unique vibration frequency. What does that mean? We're sending out a frequency, just like the sun, the stars. Every sentient being has a hum. Like the sun, the great central sun, you know what its hum is like? I'll show you. That is the frequency of the great central sun. Every single one of us has our own hum. And that hum determines what radio station we are on. And depending on what radio station we are on, a parallel reality is opening up and is going to start to open up for those of us who are on the higher radio stations. Now, what they also said was, and Saman, flow with me.
Yeah.
Many of you many of you haven't taken the time to realize how far your radio station has gone compared to your family and your friends. I'm going to say that again. Many of you have not taken the time to tune into how far your frequency, your radio dial has tuned away from your family, your friends, even your own children in some of your cases. So your partners, your mothers, your fathers, your jobs, your spouses, your boyfriends. So what they're saying is a good gauge to understand this frequency gap between you and the rest of the world is you have to ask one question. How much drama is there in my life when I'm around these people? How much drama is there in my life when I'm around these people? Are they helping me evolve? Or are they keeping me stuck in circles? Are they helping me move forward? Or am I holding on to dead weight just because of my earthly attachments, thinking they're my mother, they're my father, because religion has taught me that I have to support my mother even if she's narcissistic to me. That's not what Creator God teaches us. If someone is narcissistic to you, your self-love comes above everything else, whether it's your mother, your father, your son, your daughter. This is a universal principle. God doesn't allow abuse. Another thing they said was, ask this question, how much does my outer reality match my inner reality? If your inner reality feels like you've made it, you're successful, you're pure of heart, you're this and this and this, but your outer reality is showing something else, then there's a different resonance. And right now what they're saying is, and another thing they mentioned was your light quotient is triggering the people around you. It's triggering their pain. It's triggering their fear. It's triggering their abandonment programs. You guys get it? Your light quotient is going up so much that people around you, it's triggering all their shit. Like in their heart, their soul wants to be like you. Even your boss can feel it. Everybody can feel it. Your sister can feel it. They're mocking you because they're freaking out and they will never admit it to you. Their abandonment programs are kicking in. Their fear programs are kicking in. They know something's happening with you and they're holding on to survival. It's like they're holding on to the timeline of the you know what, the J-A, you know what, or the you know what. Energetically, they're holding on to an old timeline and you're saying, I'm done with this timeline, I'm flying.
That was a very powerful download about, basically, the way I saw it was that, okay, let me explain it to you in your as the audience lives. Let's say your life is a frequency band of changes. So think of a radio station. You can choose all the way from 20 AM to all the way to 108.8 FM, right? There's all these frequency bands. The AM bands are the unawakened people. They're old school. They're in the their paradigm. The FM bands are like somewhat the beginning of the FM band. You begin to become spiritually aware, and you're realizing there's more to this reality than the five senses, and you become aware of spirit, and you realize that there's something known as the ascension and evolution of the soul, and there's work to do. So you begin to grasp the nature of reality on a higher level, on an energetic level. Now, your radio dial, the dial, that needle that goes from one channel to another, is your frequency, okay? So your current vibration, your current frequency is a certain, is allowing you to be in vibrational alignment with a certain radio channel. Now, how do you change your frequency? When you decide to change the patterns of your life, when you decide to let go of your old habits that are somehow holding you in lower timelines, like it could be an addiction, it could be bad choices, it could be not setting up boundaries with other people, or it could just simply be you're procrastinating and putting things off that you know are good for you. Every one of us does that. But there are other people who are choosing, who are realizing what's coming around the corner, and they are choosing to meet these ascension energies by choosing a more disciplined lifestyle and aligning with all the messages that Spirit has already sent them and is going to continue to send you. Those kind of people are changing their radio dial. They're actually rising in frequency, and their reality is shifting from channel 99.9 to channel 108.8. So when you raise your frequency, when you're eating healthy, when you're vibrating high, when you're becoming aware of your traumas, you're becoming aware of how you are subconsciously coming off as negative, when you start shedding light on your blind spots, when you start doing good things for yourself, your reality shifts, correct? We all know
Because your
this.
vibration jumps.
Yeah, this is basic law of
Every
attraction.
little act you make
Everyone
to
should know
master
this.
your self-mastery, like let's say you're constantly getting frustrated, or you're constantly shouting at your husband, or you're constantly guilt-tripping someone, or you're constantly allowing your mom to abuse you by guilt-tripping you. Every single time you say, no, I will not be abused. No, I'm a creator God and I will not choose stagnation. No, I'm a creator God and I'm going to choose good health. Every decision you make raises your vibration. Yes,
Yeah.
agreed? Every time you raise your vibration, you tune into a different dial on the radio station. And that one job alone, that one task alone, that one alignment, attunement alone, boom. It's opening up a parallel reality for you, and it's happening right now. This is how Saman and I live our lives.
Yeah.
Now, what they also said was that in this radio channel shifting, and I'm going to be very direct with you because this is how we received it. So this is not something I want to leave out just because I don't want to, upset some people. But many of you will love that I'm saying this. You'll thank me for saying this. So what they also said was, what this being also said was that right now as the radio station is shifting, Saman and you are jumping up very fast. Your old audience, who's been following you for 5 years, they are used to a certain frequency. They are used to you teaching at a certain frequency, albeit very high. You've now jumped up. Now, many of them will suddenly start feeling invisible to you, meaning your world may start to feel more and more distant for them. So what they were, literally, this is a true story, guys. Okay, so you guys know how we resonate very powerfully with the number 17. We've made many videos about this, right? So in Egypt, Saman and I had a lifetime there as Akhenaten and Nefertiti, which many of you know of. Many seers have told us to this. Our guides have told us to this. It's just a knowing. It's like we just know it. We embody it. In that lifetime, we reigned over, we taught, we were teaching, we were doing exactly what we were doing now, but on a larger scale. We were teaching the masses the ways of the sun, like not idol worship. Those days were very, very harsh. We were preparing earth for Yeshua. Literally, is what we were shown. But teaching exactly these teachings, but on a different scale. We had our 17-year-old, we were basically king and queen for 17 years. And 2 years ago, remember, we made this message that we're always, every time the guides want to get our attention, they're showing us 1717. Like we'll see 1717, 5 minutes later, we'll see 1717, 5 minutes later, we'll see 1717. Like that's our number. Many of you may see 1111, many of you may see 144,000. When this message came, the message was this. This is how our life, our vortex has become so direct, like we're in constant communication with the higher realms, and you guys start watching from today. If this is happening to you, because I'm giving you the code of how to watch out for it, be aware, present to it. So that day we were talking, it was about 5:15, 5:16-ish. It was in the evening. We were sitting on the rooftop talking, the sun was shining. And this message said, there are people on the radio channel right now that are falling off your radio channel. So whatever your radio channel is broadcasting, it may not be appealing to a lot of your existing audience because the jump you've made is too large for them. But by soul contract, a whole new audience is moving towards you. Again, like this tsunami of light. It's literally like this whole new audience is coming towards you. And they're going to, some of them have already found you. They love you. They're absolutely blown fucked by you. They have this remembrance about you. And this year, some of them will start coming closer to you. They'll start coming to House of Ra. They'll start coming to Healers Academy. But by next year, it's going to be a full-blown thing. Your old audience who's not jumping, who's not taking action, who's not moving ahead, who's stagnating, will simply have to find other teachers because they're not taking action, so they're stagnating. And so the gap is getting higher. Now, true story. At that moment, my phone, Siman's phone actually, went off when we get a WhatsApp message. That happens because he hasn't turned off his notifications. I have. And we saw this message from Liara, who's our project manager from our work. And her exact message, her text read these words. She's like, holy shit. It's so amusing because Liara is a project manager. She's all about data. She's all about numbers. She's all about researching where people are coming from. And her text was exactly these words. She's like, congratulations, guys. The last 2 couples who bought tickets to House of Ra are both brand new to our vortex. They joined our mailing list just last month. And at that moment, guess what time it was? 17:17.
Oh my God, yes.
A moment after this being
that.
told us that the radio station is changing, and now the old audience there's a new audience coming, and it's a vibrational thing. There's like this going on in your vortex right now. There's a sifting and sorting. And just at that moment, it's 1717, which is our magic number, which only happens when someone's trying to really get our attention and validate something. And at that moment, Liara says, both the last 2 couples who bought ticket today and yesterday, the 4 people, are all brand new to your vortex. And she finds that amusing because most people come, they join NEMS, they take a year and then they love us and they jump. And now the new people are just like, I can't get enough of this frequency. I'm going now. These new people just know. There's like this soul contract. And if you're one of those new ones, I just want to say to you, welcome to our vortex. We can't wait to meet you. We love you too. We've been waiting for you too. Because we, as teachers, what kind of students do we like? We like students who can keep jumping. We're not speaking to those who are not going to take action, who are not going to invest in themselves, who are not looking for master teachers, because we're not a vibrational match. So it's like very, very interesting. Okay, I have a very deep analogy, unless you want to go into something else. I have a very deep analogy that blew my mind that I want to share, the Merlin example.
Yeah, go into it.
Okay, so this is a bit complicated, but I'm going to tell you, and Siman, you can help me.
This is going to give you an example of how you can choose timelines and how your reality can shift.
And it's going to be the most absurd thing you hear, because you think I'm going to say something, but I'm going to say the exact opposite thing, which is why those of you with depth will understand this and will love this example. How am I going to say this? Okay. So one quick example. This is not the powerful one I'm talking about. It is powerful, but the next one I think is even more deep and powerful. So the first example is simple. Asteria, who started working with us, she was one of our soul family, like you guys watching. She started working with us a few months ago. And she has been getting a lot of criticism from her parents because she's flying to House of Ra. Oh no, she was saying that she wants to come to House of Ra in Tulum. And they were like mocking her, really, really upset with her. And her foot started hurting. And when she told us, I'm going to hospitals, I need time off and whatnot, we're like, that foot pain is indicative of a deeper spiritual lesson that's saying that you're not moving forward in life, you're stagnating. You're not moving forward, you're not finding your footing. And as soon as she got that, she had full body chills, and something in her gave her the strength to make this big jump and say, I'm coming all the way from Malaysia to Tulum. It's a 2-day journey or something, because she has like 3 flights. But I'm going, and my whole family is against it. And I'm petrified, I'm overwhelmed, but I'm going to make that jump. Something just took over her, and she booked her tickets. She's getting a free ticket because I offered her a free ticket. She's part of our team. As soon as she made that jump, her foot pain went away. Okay, so Now let me tell you the powerful example I was going to talk about. It's a bit complex. So listen with depth. So Merlin, many of you know him, works with us. He works in our video editing team. He's been with us from the very beginning. He was the first person who ever started working with us. Our entire team this year is coming to House of Ra. Merlin was not on the radio station that made him a viable match to House of Ra. No matter how hard we tried, we want him to come. We love him. And he's like, there's no way I want to miss House of Ra.
Facing a lot of resistance.
Not even resistance. It's more like obstacles.
Yeah.
Many obstacles. So he wanted to come. He tried. He had all these, like, we even gave him a free ticket. No, it's not aligning. It's not aligning. The energy is not opening up. We're like, literally, and I even sent him a message last week saying, I would love to give you $1,000 loan or $1,500 loan for your flight so you can just come with peace. Because I'm like, why isn't this energy opening up for him to come when all he wants is to come? Because his ego just wants to come to House of Ra. Watch, I'm giving you tips. His ego just wants to be with Eldora and Simon, have fun, like laugh around, go on these, expensive company dinners that we go on, maybe go on a vacation with us, because we always do that. We take our team away on a vacation right after every event. Who knows, we may do that this year. But our hearts was saying, no, Merlin's not a match. He's not going to be here today. And so part of us were like bummed, like, damn, the whole team is here. Asteria is coming. Serafina is here. Starla is here. Liara is coming. Everybody's coming. Why isn't Merlin coming? So we were just like, okay, fine. As soon as I sent the message to him saying, we're going to give you a loan, the higher self fully channeled. You know what the higher self said? Because as soon as I said, I'll give you a loan, he's like, yay, I'd love to come. I'd love to get this loan and come. And yes, I'm so thank you guys for this loan. And we're like, damn, our higher self's not allowing it. So the higher self said to him, you are welcome to come to House of Ra and serve in exchange for a complimentary ticket. But you have to cover your own lodging. You have to cover your own flights. You have to cover your own food, because at the level that you're currently vibrating, you're not really contributing much to this vortex. And therefore, we cannot justify anything more than this exchange. So the choice is yours. We're not going to give you a loan. We're not going to cover anything which you would get if you were vibrating high and we felt you were of value to serve at our vortex. But just so you get activated, just so you stay in the House of Ra frequency, we'll give you a free ticket. Okay? This was last week. After tuning in, now this is where it gets really interesting. He made his choice, and the choice is not what we were thinking about. He chose against all odds, and he doesn't even know he's being tricked. He doesn't even know he's being initiated. This is why we are all so blown by the power of our vortex. Our vortex is like, it's always impressing us with its genius. Like we're not doing it. The vortex has a mind of its own. When someone's out of alignment, they're spun out. When someone's supposed to come in, they come in. It's just like magic. And once they come in, they go very fast. We're not doing anything. Merlin chose to save up. So Merlin has enough money to come. He doesn't need a loan. He has enough money for the flight. He has enough money to pay for his own accommodation and all of that. The old Merlin would have chosen to take that money and rush to House of Ra. Why? Because he was attached to us. His ego would feel better being around all of us and showing that, hey, even I was at House of Ra, I didn't miss out, obviously, and have fun with us, go in the ocean with us and all of that. But what he said to us was, I'm going to sacrifice House of Ra this year, and I'm going to save up for Healers Academy next year. And as much as my heart wants to be with you, as much as I'm aching to be in Tulum, as much as I even have the money to afford it, you know what? I'm going to take the higher road and say I'll save up for Healers Academy. Now, what did Merlin do? To most of you listening, you're like, okay, Merlin made his choice, perfect. He's choosing that, no, great. We are being guided by a higher force. Simon, what did that happen? As soon as Merlin sent that email.
As soon as Merlin chose the timeline of saving for Healers Academy next year, instead of listening to his ego and coming to House of Ra, which is short-term gratification, he chose the path of discipline and mastery, which is the timeline of Healers Academy for him. Okay? When he made that choice, guess what happened? And we didn't choose it. Instantly, House of Ra opened its doors to him. And it came from on high. It came from above. We didn't choose this. As soon as he sent us that email that I'm saving up for Healers Academy, Spirit said to both of us at the same time, Now
Whew.
he's ready to serve at House of Ra because he's already committed to a choice in the future. Just by making that
Of
choice
discipline.
today, he's in a different
Did you guys
timeline.
get this? Did you guys get the depth of this? He chose discipline instead of his ego wanting to be with us and play with us and get activated and receive. He said, okay, I have to do this, and I'm going to choose Healer's Academy. And he chose discipline. That was what does he want? He wants to come to House of Ra. He wants to play with us. Every part of him wants to just be that baby that he's always been his whole life and just come and be a baby and take. But he didn't choose that. He chose the higher option of saying, I'm going to empower myself next year and wait, and I'm going to do Healer's Academy. And guess what, guys? Not only did the whole timeline open up for him, we have now said, you've suddenly jumped. This is what I mean by the timelines are solidifying.
Yeah.
He solidified a timeline all of a sudden where his radio dial has turned up saying, I'm choosing discipline. And because he chose discipline, it's a very subtle but very powerful example.
I want to decode this example for you guys because somebody asked a very important question. In order to make it to the first wave, do I have to complete all of my curriculum or do I have to just make some right choices? That's a very good question,
Great
right?
question.
So this is why we shared Merlin's example.
Oh, I want to complete it
Yeah.
though. Not only did he get instantly, so literally he's just sent us this message feeling like shit. He's probably been crying all week because all he wants is to go. And he's saying, no, I'm going to wait till 2026 and do Healer's Academy because now I'm growing up. I'm being responsible. I'm choosing. Guess what we did? As soon as we got the message, 5 minutes later, these were the exact words of my text to him. Merlin, I just got your email. The energy seems to have shifted. Just because you chose your higher discipline and you chose Healer's Academy, something is opening up, and now you're being invited to House of Ra to serve, to take a few videos, to help us with some of the music, to help us with some of the live streams, and we're going to give you accommodation, food, and a free ticket, and you're coming as part of the team. He's like, I'm jumping around the room, and we are as blown as. Do you guys get how big this is?
Yeah. So it's big for you guys as well. When you have to understand the nature of our message today, just know one thing. This is what it boils down to. If you, at a soul level, commit to your path of mastery, if you, in your heart, want to ascend as bad as Spirit wants you to ascend, it can't be one way. Spirit cannot be running after you. If you choose your path of evolution, discipline, and ascension today, then you've already made it into the timeline. But it cannot be a surface level decision. It is, Spirit knows when it's a surface level decision that you retract from next week.
So how can they make some of these decisions in there? You can make these decisions in your daily lives in a multitude of ways. What are some of those ways? You guys know, every single one of you knows. You're either in a denial or you're understanding that your guides are giving you a specific message. It could be anything. It could be, this relationship is not serving you, get out. You're allowing people to disrespect you, start respecting yourself. You've been wasting money on all these addictions and whatever to fill a void. Stop doing that. You've been running after boys because you have low self-worth. You've been moving from woman after woman after woman because you've not healed your lower chakras as a man, so you're attracting lust into your life. Or you're too addicted to coffee, or you're too addicted to porn, or you're not shining your light as the legend that you are. Whatever the message is for you,
and
you know.
don't have to complete your curriculum 99% by next year. You just have to be committed enough that you are a vibrational match to make it to the first wave.
Yes.
If you don't make it to the first wave, no big deal. There's a second wave, but the fact that you chose to start training for the first wave will make the second wave easier for you.
Now, before we close, there's two things we want to talk about, and I think that's about it. The one is, how will this wave pass through us?
Let's go into that.
And also this, the nervous system. How
Right.
the nervous, you want to go into that?
Yeah, so one of the very clear curriculums that we're being guided to teach at House of Ra this year is how to rewire the patterns of the brain and the nervous system so people can learn the science of getting over their own inner resistance and objections to stepping up higher. Okay? So this is very deep, you guys. A lot of light workers are stuck right now. and they're stuck in, like we said, procrastination, trauma, or lack of self-worth. It's one variation or the other of one of these three themes. So how do you change? Like we've said all the blocks, but how do you get over these blocks? That's not that simple. To get over these blocks, we're being shown an entire curriculum that we have to teach, and this is not something we can teach over YouTube. This is something we're going to be teaching in our closed containers like Healers Academy and House of Ra, and in the future many other containers for serious ascension students who are committed to their path, and that's who we're speaking to. The people who are facing some resistance, but they really want it badly. They really want their life to improve. They really want to experience more than what they've been experienced, and they're just tired of the old ways of doing things which are not satisfying anymore. It's just feeling like life is not where it needs to be, and you can go higher, but you don't know how to make that jump. That curriculum is what we're planning to teach at House of Ra. So our whole objective at House of Ra is to help people learn the science of rewiring their neural pathways and their nervous system energetic blocks, so that when you go home, no matter what mission you're on, no matter what life path you're choosing, you're gonna find it much easier to make the right choices and get out of your own way.
And what they also said was the reason your nervous system is fried is because the reason you're seeking all this comfort. Okay, no, they said the reason your nervous system is freaking out right now is because you cannot tolerate the idea of giving up your comfort. Like, I was acting crazy. The last month I've been acting crazy with comfort. Like, I've never been like this. I'm always like, I want my cushy blanket, or I want to make sure there's potatoes in the back. There's potatoes, there's sweet potatoes, there's brown rice, like all heavy grounding food. I'm also like every night using a freaking heating pad, and I don't even use it. It's like I'm expanding so fast, so rapidly, that my nervous system is saying, whoa, 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 I need comfort. I need comfort. I can't eat tiramisu. That's going to be an automatic fail for my ascension where I'm right now. Like, that's not something I would ever do. I'm not going to go drink coffee, but what can I do? I need all the comfort in the house. I want to make sure that my fridge is stocked. I have money. I have, cash in my wallet. Like, whatever comfort means, we're groping for comfort. So let me know if you're like that, because this is happening to millions of people on the planet. And the reason this is happening is that your nervous system cannot tolerate the idea of giving up comfort, because if you commit to a path of mastery and discipline, you know that you are going to have to change into a new version of yourself, and that scares the shit out of the best of us. You have two options. When you get scared shitless, hopefully this video is going to help you make that jump. Whatever that jump is for you, there's no one size fits all. Whatever that jump is for you, you're being asked to make, and take this seriously, because by making the jump, what's going to happen to you? By choosing yourself, what's going to happen to you? By putting yourself first, what's going to happen to you? By understanding the enormity of this with your heart and not letting your head distract you, by having the discipline, what's going to happen to you? What's going to happen to you? You guys are going to jump and jump and jump into new versions of yourself, that your reality has no choice but to jump and jump and jump to mirror who you've become. That is how Siman and I have left the Matrix. We were ordinary people. He was a computer programmer. I owned this cafe franchise. We were making good money. We were madly in love. We thought we've made it, until we realized our life was super empty. We hadn't connected to our divine soul mission. And right now, many of you who are in the first wave, many of our students are in the first wave, just so you know. If you're listening to this and you're in love with our teachings, if you're like not triggered by us and you're super in love with our teachings and your triggers are very minor, there is a very good chance that you're traumatically and energetically and egotistically ready to start activating your first path of wayshower. You can do that in a multitude of ways. I'm just giving you the frequency of, like, if you're super triggered by our light, that means light is still triggering you because a lot of trauma still exists within you. That's just how it works. That's why you trigger others, because your light is too much for others. It's the same thing. But what they're saying is that, make no mistake, right now you guys are in for a major jump. And how will this wave pass through us? How will this affect us?
Yeah. So we were shown that the moment that this wave hits us, it'll be like, it was shown to us like a liquid honey-like substance.
Right,
It
like the
was
amniotic fluid.
it was as if the imagery we were shown is we're all floating in stasis. We're all floating in like mid-air, and we're like suspended in amniotic fluid, and time is moving very slow for a few moments or hours. Like there's no concept of time in that moment when this wave's passing through us. And it was shown like we're all just feeling so much intense love burst forth in our heart in that moment. It's like a rapture. So there's some people who will find this wave so intense they just feel dizzy, nauseous, and they fall asleep. Other people choose to experience it very consciously, and these people will feel so much love exploding in their heart that they will forget about all of their judgments. They will forget about all of their labels towards each other. If you have any anger or hatred or malice towards another person, in that moment, all of it will melt away into love. And everywhere you look around, you will see unity consciousness. It's like having that epiphany or enlightenment, if you might call it. But in that moment, everybody will be momentarily enlightened. That's how it's shown to us. And after this wave, we don't know how long it'll go for. It may be hours, it may be days, but not more than that, we were shown. But once this wave comes and passes through us, it'll leave us changed forever. It will prepare us for what's to come next. But it will also, once this wave passes through us, that euphoria that you initially felt will eventually die down to a normal way of life again. And when the wave passes through, you'll literally wonder, like, did that just happen? Like, was that real? Like, your logical mind will not be able to comprehend what just hit you, and you will be in this state of being in two worlds simultaneously. And after passing through this wave, we were shown that people who are, okay, let me tell you in a way that you'll really get it. Right now, what we're giving you, the information we're giving you, is like a winning lottery ticket. All you have to do is choose it. And there's not one winner. There's as many winners as there are people who'll take it.
Which also means that
Take
we're
the
living
gift from God.
we're living in historic times. The old rules don't apply anymore. We're being given the opportunity of a lifetime, and all we got to do is one thing: choose our highest joy, choose our highest love, service. Don't go into separation. Don't go into he did this, she did this, judgment. We're raising our frequency and we're saying, as of right now, I'm done playing small. I'm activating my mastery, and so it is.
And I'm committing to my path. All you have
Like,
to do
can you
is
say it
choose
out
your
loud
path
with
of
me?
mastery.
I'm done. Like, literally say, those of you who are resonating, just type in the comments, I'm done playing small. I'm done holding myself back. I am activating my timeline of self-mastery. Literally, I am activating my timeline of self-mastery. Say it out with conviction. Say it like you mean it, and your higher self will show you the way. What that means for each of you is different. Your higher self will show you the way. You just have to make that soul level decision, and then every day just do the best you can, the best you can, the best you can. That's it. It's not hard. It's very simple. I love it. I'm done playing small.
And I also wanted to add that, you know how I just said that this is you choosing, like a winning lottery ticket is given to you by spirit and you're just accepting it? Once you accept this lottery ticket, this knowledge is like winning the lottery, because whatever you think you're working towards in your 3D life, like let's say you're working towards an ideal career or your dream home or whatever your 3D goals are, whatever your human level goals are, if you prioritize your ascension and your evolution above those short-term goals, what you will gain from the universe is far grander, far bigger, and far more expansive and far more rewarding than anything that your logical mind can comprehend right now. And what do I mean by that? We were shown that the people who choose this lottery ticket for themselves and say, I'm choosing this lottery ticket and I'm going to train to win this lottery by next year. I'm committing to my path of mastery and I'm choosing this for myself. And I don't need to be perfect. I understand. I just need to make the right amount of effort for Spirit to recognize my sincerity on this path,
Yes.
not my half-assedness, but my full-on sincerity. If you choose that and you pass through this ring where enough of your ego attachments have been shed that you can pass through the ring past not initiation at the given time, if that happens, the person you will become on the other side of this ring, the person you are about to become, is going to open to timelines and opportunities and the kind of gifts bestowed by Spirit and this universe that your logical mind will be dizzy if I explain those to you. It'll be whatever you've hoped and wished for times a million. We cannot explain it with our logical mind because we don't even know what's coming. But what I'm sincerely being asked to emphasize several times is that you choosing the timeline of mastery is not you giving anything up.
Yes.
It's you gaining more than you can imagine.
Yes.
Because what's going to be rewarded to you in return to your discipline and your discipline and your commitment to your mastery, the reward that's coming to you is far greater than anything you can comprehend with your logical mind.
So beautiful. I feel immense gratitude for the times we're living in. Immense gratitude, guys. There's never been such a time. There is actually, we've been shown this very clearly, that many of us are soon approaching a time, Siman and I are already passing through that time right now, where all inner and outer turmoil will come to an end.
Yes.
We
We're
were-
already entering that timeline this year, and
All
many will.
inner and outer turmoil will come to an end because you've just activated enough, you've healed enough, you've owned enough, you've stood up enough, you've accepted that you are a bright light and you're no longer playing small, you're done playing small. All inner and outer turmoil will end because guess what? You're now ready to do God's work. You're ready to become ambassadors of the Creator, divine plan. And that is actually why we came to this planet. We came here to be wayshowers. We're not part of the human collective. We're not humans.
We're here to pave the way, you guys. We are the pioneers. All you have to do is remember who you are. You already are it. You already are capable of it. You have what it takes. All you have to do is say yes.
Does that feel complete?
Yeah.
That feels complete. For those of you who are brand new and who want to know more about us, who want to get our
Oh,
website.
tell them about House of Ra.
Yes, for those of you who are like just aching, there's so many options that you have. We can right now give you 2 options, actually 3 options, but 2 are very, very immediate. So I'll give you both. One is the House of Ra Ascension Festival. We welcome you with all our hearts. We actually have on March 10th, I believe, the prices are going up. So if you guys have been looking at House of Ra and you've been waiting and you're just waiting for that divine nudge, many of you are being called to House of Ra. And many of you will just know that this is for me. If that is for you, we welcome you with open arms. You can go to get tickets at www.houseofra.com, which is HOUSEOFRA.com. So that's the first event, which is happening in Tulum this April 9th to 14th. And something in the next transmission, we're actually going to share some very major updates on how the land is being prepared for what's about to happen in House of Ra.
Oh, yeah. We had an experience with Quetzalcoatl, who is the serpent dragon of the Mayan tradition. So it's a timed download. So we're still unpacking it. And
Like
we'll
it's
share it
like
with
all
you
these
soon.
higher dimensional beings are now preparing the land, and they're calling specific people to House of Ra. This year, House of Ra is very frequential based. It's very, very intentional. I'll cover more about that next time. There's a lot going on. The Emerald Dragon consciousness is coming back to Earth. The Kingdom of Heaven is coming down to Earth. There's a lot of stuff. Throne codes
There's
are
a lot
being
of
sent.
big beings, divine beings with a lot of power and authority that are surrounding our planet right now. And we were given a glimpse that they're all preparing for this first wave. And something big is brewing.
And even with House of Ra, we're like, they're all preparing the land. Because we've done 3 or 4 House of Ra's before, but this is the one they're saying we are embodying more of the throne energy in this timeline right now. And because of that, they're saying this House of Ra will anchor for the very first time the throne of God energies on planet Earth because of who's coming and who we have become and we are becoming. That's why they're saying train for House of Ra like you're training for the Olympics, because the higher dimensions are depending on all of us for that. So we're going to even send you guys, if you're coming, an email to how to cleanse, how to diet, like how to align your frequency so that you come as the highest version and you leave at an unrecognizably higher version. Now we have another option. For those of you who are feeling like House of Ra is not calling you, we have another option. Our guides are being very specific to give you both options. And if both of them don't resonate, look at what other options your higher self is sending you, because your higher self is sending you options. I can guarantee you that. The second container that we have is the most empowering thing you'll ever do in your life. It's our Metatronic Healers Academy, which is an 8-week quantum healing certification in Metatronic quantum healing. We actually just did our first round. Our next class, which is this Saturday, is our 7th class, and then the next week is our last class. Students are flying. Normal people doing DoorDash deliveries are about to become master quantum healers. They've made a huge jump, and even they're blown fucked. They're like, we didn't see this coming. We thought we're paying money to do some certification, but what's happened to them is they've just jumped. They've realized how powerful they are. Every week they do one-on-one healings with each other. They're having breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough after breakthrough. Metatrons coming in. Siman and I are very strong teachers in the way we deliver the message. And overall, we're seeing a massive explosion of our light in our vortex. So if becoming a healer and healing yourself to ascension like we have done, or becoming a healer to serve as a quantum healer, if either of these resonate with you, go check out our Healers Academy. It's www.nems.love, which is nems.love/Healers Academy. nems.love/Healers Academy. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. We're going all the way. And what day is today? Thursday. I was going to say have a good weekend. We have one more day. Amazing. So many of them are saying getting ready for Healers Academy.
Our office got a day off tomorrow, so it's the weekend.
Yeah, we're like, yes, that's why.
We've been working so hard, we gave our office a day off.
Yes. So love you too, guys.
Love you too,
Thank
guys.
you for watching.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.